A single individual has managed to disrupt the mechanics of global industry, accumulating a fortune that rivals the economic output of entire nations. The baseline for this wealth was established in 2002. Following the sale of PayPal to eBay, Elon Musk walked away with nearly $176 million, emerging as a major victor of the early internet boom. For almost any other software founder of that era, a 9-figure payout signaled a permanent, quiet retirement. Musk took a different path. Instead of protecting that sudden wealth, he systematically emptied his accounts to fund speculative, physical engineering projects. By refusing to secure his winnings, he effectively traded his status as a fortunate entrepreneur for that of a high-stakes investor, betting his entire net worth on a different set of physical technologies. He pointed his capital directly at 3 specific sectors: electric vehicles, private spaceflight, and artificial intelligence. In the early 2000s, legacy automakers and aerospace giants held an absolute monopoly on these markets. Industry experts maintained that a private citizen attempting to build rockets or viable electric cars would face certain, rapid bankruptcy. The physical starting line of this transition was humble. The first Tesla Roadster was a small, experimental vehicle trying to prove that an electric motor could compete on the open road. There was no middle ground in this strategy. He would either exhaust his entire fortune and fail, or he would force a global shift in how humanity moves and lives. By the start of 2020, those early bets had survived long enough to place his net worth at $27 billion. This chart shows Tesla's violent explosion. Over 12 months, the stock began a historic surge, adding $150 billion to his fortune. This rapid acceleration pushed his net worth past Jeff Bezos, crowning Musk the richest person in the world by 2021. Wall Street had stopped evaluating Tesla simply as a car manufacturer. Institutional investors began treating the company's stock as a direct proxy for owning a piece of the future itself. The compounding momentum carried him across a threshold no individual had ever reached. In November 2021, he became the first human to breach $300 billion. The stock market had transitioned from evaluating a car company to financing a large-scale technological roadmap. This capital was the signal that a different method of industrial production had become the global standard. While the automotive market secured his fortune on Earth, his ultimate justification for that wealth lay in orbit. Musk maintained that humanity needed to become a multi-planetary species to survive long-term. To make that viable, SpaceX engineered a physical solution that sovereign governments could not: the reusable rocket. Landing and reusing boosters fractured the traditional economics of spaceflight. By drastically reducing launch costs, SpaceX quickly cornered the global aerospace market. Soon, federal agencies relied entirely on this private infrastructure. By 2024, the U.S. government had signed contracts with SpaceX worth nearly $20 billion. The balance of orbital power shifted. Sovereign nations, including the United States, found themselves in a position where their access to space was contingent on a private individual's fleet of rockets. From 2024 onward, the pace of his wealth accumulation aggressively accelerated, pushing his fortune entirely into uncharted financial territory. The numbers climbed rapidly. His net worth crossed $400 billion, then $500 billion, then $700 billion. By 2026, financial reports estimated his fortune at over $800 billion. Yet, despite these staggering paper valuations, Musk frequently described himself as cash poor, noting his capital is entirely bound up in the physical infrastructure of his companies. To comprehend a figure like $800 billion requires looking past corporate ledgers. The individual financial footprint of Elon Musk has expanded to outpace the total economic output of numerous developed nations. Holding wealth at a geopolitical scale naturally generates immense friction. Scrutiny intensified as his political presence expanded. Financial disclosures revealed that he paid 0 federal income tax in 2018, a reality that clashed sharply with his growing influence over public infrastructure. The pushback didn't only come from the outside. Internal stakeholders at Tesla began to rebel, actively challenging the sheer magnitude of his corporate compensation. This resulted in a bitter legal battle. In 2024, a Delaware judge outright rejected his $55 billion pay deal, ruling it unfair to shareholders, only for the decision to be overturned and the package restored the following year. The courts and regulators were attempting to apply traditional corporate oversight to an entity whose scale had rendered those systems inadequate. Amidst the legal and public battles, Musk maintains a singular defense. He argues his capital is not hoarded for personal luxury, but mobilized to secure human survival. Through the Musk Foundation, billions are channeled into precise existential targets, researching AI safety, combating declining global birth rates, and funding advanced STEM education. Observers remain skeptical, pointing out that this philanthropic roadmap mirrors his own commercial interests, effectively subsidizing his corporate goals under the banner of charity. This leaves the public to weigh two competing identities. On one side, the singular engineer solving humanity's largest logistical problems. On the other, a private actor wielding the unregulated influence of a sovereign state. Regardless of the final verdict, the historical record is set. One private citizen has rewritten the rules of modern global power.